كن سعيدا كن فريدا عش بفخر في الحياة لا تبالي فالمعالي بالتحدي لا سواه.
Assalamu alaikum, this is UmmahSpeaks, and my name is Wania Shams, and I'm in my first year at MedSci.
Hello everyone, I'm Dina and Wania. I'm my first year at Environmental Science, and this is our first episode, All You Need to Know About the Hijab.
So why did we make this episode? Normally, when you see a random girl on the street wearing a hijab, the first two thoughts that come to your mind are, it's so hot, why is she wearing that? And is she forced to wear that? She must be oppressed.
We decided to make this episode because we feel like discussions about the hijab are very difficult to navigate, and we feel like what better place to know about hijab than to hijabis.
So yeah, we'll get right into it. So our first point that we're going to be talking about is, what is the hijab? So everyone just assumes that like this hijab is just a cloth Muslim women wear to cover their hair and identify themselves as Muslim women. So there's actually like a lot more to it than that.
Yeah, I mean, we tend to focus about only the physical manifestation of hijab, but actually hijab basically it reflects the modesty of Islam. Islam is a religion that values modesty for both men and women, and hijab is only, or the physical manifestation of it is only a part of it. And modesty, I feel like Islam in general is a lifestyle we live through.
It's like, as a Muslim, the center of your life is like Islam, modesty, cleanliness. Everything that falls into Islam is the center, and everything you do should revolve around that. So hijab is like, it falls into that central modesty. So hijab is not just like about the cloth that you're wearing, it's also about like the way you act, the way you interact with people. And yeah, so there's a lot more to it than just like wearing a hijab.
Yeah, like the scarf. And also like modesty also applies to men, Muslim men, with again how would they behave, and also there are physical manifestations of modesty where like there's awra that they need to cover, same as for women. And actually Islam really focuses on modesty and you can find that through the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it's interesting how when you think of modesty, you only think of women, although the most modest of the companions was Uthman bin Affan, who was a male. So modesty is something in Islam generally, so hijab is only a part of that, I would say.
Yeah, so like to add on to that, the word hayat, it means modesty in Arabic. So when you think of hayat, like the first thing that comes to mind is like a Muslim woman, like her dressed in a hijab.
Yeah.
So like it's not just like women. Hayat is also like associated to men, like lowering their gaze, etc., etc.
And it's important to discuss all that, in conversations about modesty. And I also want to mention how modesty is also found in a lot of religions. And you could find that head covering is also found in other religions, like for women, like Jews, like and in Christianity. So hijab is really not that scary or weird when you think about it. It has been done for multiple years. So, yeah.
Yeah. So now we're gonna like talk a bit about our own journeys with the hijab. So for me, my elementary school experience, I went to an Islamic elementary school. So like I kind of grew up around like Muslims. Everyone was wearing the hijab, wearing like full length dresses, everything. So when I came to high school, it was like kind of a bit of a culture shock in a way. Like not everyone dresses this way. So like it took me a while. Like I would have to like go around out of my way to find like hijabis. So it took me a while to like get comfortable in that environment. So I did struggle a bit like with my hijab journey. Like I was like wearing different styles, trying to find like what suits me the best and stuff. But I think as I went through high school, I honestly learned that it took me a while, but hijab is more than like just the cloth and stuff. As I mentioned earlier, it's like your interactions with people. You'll stop and think like, okay, I'm a hijabi. Everything I say and do, it's going to reflect back on my religion. And these people around me, they're going to get a perception of my religion based on me wearing this and what I do. So that really changed my mindset on like the hijab.
Well, yeah, I have a different journey, and I feel like a lot of Muslim women have different journeys. So I was actually born and raised in a Muslim country all my life, high school, elementary school, everything. So hijab is like, you see it around, my family members and all. And then I came to Canada to study university, and it's different. But at the same time, I didn't feel a lot of change. I feel like I got to grow up with my hijab. I got to wear it when I was in 8th grade. so I got to grow out with it. But actually, like, you would assume that since I was born and raised in a Muslim country, I was like even like encouraged to wear the hijab or something like that. I was not really, though. I feel like when I did choose to wear the hijab, some people would assume that, oh, you're too young, or oh, this is gonna close a lot of doors in your face, which it might, you know, how people treat hijabis right now. But also at the end of the day, I felt like the hijab empowered me. It's a choice I made, and I chose to take it. And every day I wake up, I am so happy with my choice about that. And I feel like we need to discuss that more as hijabi women. So if you're a hijabi woman, like, listening to this, let us hear your stories about how hijab empowers you in your workspace, in university, wherever you are. Because we often hear too much about women being oppressed into wearing a hijab. Although I know a lot of people, and even in my country, who their families were not as approving. They're like, just wait until you go to university, or, you know, although it's completely, you know, your choice to take it when you want to. And I feel like it liberated me so much personally.
Yeah, and like going off of what you said about like how families like play a big role, I feel like a lot of people, like, not me personally, but a lot of people, they confuse like the idea of culture versus religion when it comes to hijab. So like, you know, like for example, a lot of like, not people I know personally, but like I've seen a lot of like hijabis like online, in social media, influencers and stuff. They'll be like, they'll be hijabis their whole life, and then like they'll take it off on like their wedding day.
Yeah.
Or, like this one occasion, which is like kind of contradicting, because I feel like that's the day where you should be wearing it the most, in my opinion.
I feel like, culture and religion, I feel like they mix a lot. And I think it's important for everyone to learn these boundaries and to learn like, okay, this is my culture and this is my religion, so things don't mix around. And an example of culture and religion would be like, I feel like culture would say, like, as a woman, you would have to, okay, this might, like, you know, might go off track, but if you're a hijabi woman, you can't have fun, or you can't laugh in a certain way, or like, you know, again, modesty is important, but also that does not mean that you need to be like, you know, always introverted and in your shell. I mean, Muslims come in different personalities, and you can see that throughout the companions and your life around you. You know, you have extroverted friends who are Muslim and other friends, and putting a hijab on does not, like, you know, confine you. It makes you who you, like, it's a part of who you are, and you get to express it in your way, and I think that's very beautiful.
Yeah, so now let's jump into living in like Western countries, wearing the hijab. Well, obviously, like, this probably has a bigger experience, like bigger side on you, because you kind of, you know, came from like Eastern country, Western country. Yeah,
that was definitely a jump. I feel like till now, Canada, generally speaking, people are nice here, alhamdulillah. But also you get those weird looks sometimes. I feel like especially recently, and you get into awkward conversations. And sometimes, honestly, a hijabi is just trying to live. Like, I am being on campus, I'm trying to work, I'm studying, you know, hijab is a big part of who I am, but also, like, at the end of the day, I'm just a person, you know, walking around. So maybe do not, you know, don't assume things, I feel like, generally speaking. And just don't give weird looks. That's and it shows, by the way. Like, I want to let you know, if you're walking around and you're looking at hijab in a weird way, we can notice. We notice.
We ignore it, but like, you know, it's noticeable.
Yeah.
Also, it's like we're the same person, and it's just another cloth over our head.
And like the avoiding to sit anywhere near. I don't know if you've noticed. Personally, like when I sit on a table, they would sit everywhere on top of each other, but not. I don't know.
Okay, listen. Personally, when I'm like sitting on like tables and stuff, I try to, or like when I'm going to my lectures halls and stuff, I try to look for like, you know, a girl, like a group of girls with their heads covered. No, like a group of hijabis, I just squeeze in there.
Also, I feel like when I pass by and I see another hijabi in a Western country, we have that connection. Like, I smile at her, I'm like,
Islam on the street, it's so sweet.
Yeah, and like we see each other, even like a smile. And like in like when I was back home, it wasn't that like connecting, but when you see other Muslim women on the street, you just feel connected to them in that way. So that's like a positive about Islam in Western countries, I would say, generally.
Definitely agree with you. So let's jump into a few like lighthearted struggles now related to the hijab. Let's talk about hijab color. You're wearing black. I'm wearing pink. Okay, like this is probably showing up really weird on the camera, but you know, okay, I used to wear black all the time. Like throughout high school, if you knew me in high school, I only wore black hijabs. and jersey hijabs.
I am going through the stage right now, and I feel like if you see me on campus wearing a black hijab, please do not mention it, do not ask about it, because I wear it every single day. I feel like it just fits your face. I don't know. I feel like when you find that hijab that works perfectly for you, you abuse it. And I have to apologize.
I had that face for a long time.
This is me right now. And I feel like, the chiffon hijabs, the one that you wear, every pretty girl wears them. I just have to say, if you wear them, you go girl, because they need a lot of pins and stuff like that, and they flatter you a lot. So, Wania, you're looking great. Yeah. And also, what else? Like, I feel like we don't get to talk about these small struggles because everyone's already assuming that you're being oppressed. So everyone's like, "Oh, are you hot in there?" I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of hot, but that's a choice I'm making to wear.
I don't have a self-installed heat air conditioning in here. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah, and I feel like we don't get to complain because we always have to put on the smile that because we don't want people to assume
that this is something that's bothering us or whatever.
Yeah,
but there obviously are lighthearted struggles, on top of there are bad hijab days.
Oh my god, please! You'd wear the same hijab, you'd wear everything the same, and it just looks different.
Yeah, it just doesn't sit properly.
It doesn't.
Those days where one end has more of your undercap showing and.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I just want to say sometimes as Muslim women, as hijabis, we might have this pressure to always be smiling and always be because we're conveying our Islam and our religion, but also take a break. It's okay. Talk to your friends about lighthearted things like that, the struggles you face. Sure, they won't discriminate against you wearing it. Now, we wish that all our struggles are as easy as what color hijab to wear or if I don't wash my hijabs as often. But sadly, all around the world, Muslim women face discrimination. And they face, it's a hard choice. Yeah. And sadly it is. Although, I feel like it's a choice of I'm choosing to wear this. It shouldn't be that big of a problem for everyone around me. But as you see all around the world, I feel like Muslim women are discriminated against in every way.
They're both discriminated against, for putting it on and for taking it off. It's both ends of the spectrum. Can we just meet in the middle where we wear it if we want to?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's up to every woman, to your own.
And I feel so I'm gonna first of all start talking about if you know someone in your family who's wearing a hijab. As I came from Jordan, and also I know a lot about the Arab culture. Sometimes people tend to criticize women who wear the hijab a lot. So a woman might be struggling with her journey on the hijab, and the first thing someone would tell her, take it off. And I feel like this is not helpful for anyone in the equation.
If you're not going to wear it properly, take it off.
It's just not helpful. It's instead of constructive criticism, you're just if someone is doing something good in that way, you're just oh, you shouldn't do that. And again, Muslims, and Allah is the All-Merciful, and He teaches us to always, come back to Him to remorse and to always try our best. And we cannot expect everyone to be perfect, and everyone should be doing their best. Yeah. And instead of putting other Muslim women down, you should be supporting them, please.
Yeah.
As as a Muslim woman living in the West, we already get the weird
we get
everything.
Enough, yeah.
We get enough. So as a brother or as a sister or as an auntie, if you're watching this, please just be nicer to Muslim women in your surroundings. Just know that it's already hard enough to wear the hijab.
And another thing on top of that, as you mentioned earlier, the hijab is not you just put it on. It's a journey.
It really is.
Yeah. You start off with maybe your I don't know, you're just putting the cloth on your head. Then you see it's more of a lifestyle. Then you implement your whole way of living into it.
Yeah, and I feel again, as iman also fluctuates. Yeah. And you're not always on your best iman.
And everyone is at a different level, so you can't judge anyone. One day you might be better than them, but the next day they might be better than you.
Exactly. So let's help each other on our journeys, please, instead of, putting other people down. Always put excuses for your Muslim brother or sister. Just because we don't know what anyone's going through, and talking behind people's back is backbiting, and that's not okay in Islam. You cannot backbite. So let's all work as a community, and I think we'll touch back on that later on in the episode, a message to everyone, please, as hijabis. But for now, we also really need to discuss how governments also like discuss, talk about, do rules about the hijab.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting, I think. Like
it's a really controversial topic, because I mean, like, like, you know, the whole my body, my choice thing? Like, my body, my choice. You know, let me wear my scarf.
And also, I feel like just generally, like, why are we putting government rules about what women wear in the workspace? Or that for me is never, like...
That's a really, like, iffy topic. Like,
it is, and it's just... Again, hijab never blocks anything. I feel like as a Muslim woman, hijab never like stopped me from pursuing a dream or something that I want to do, but people do, sadly. So if I, let's say, wanted to work government at Quebec or like something like that, I wouldn't be allowed to, and that's not because of my hijab, because I still have my same brain on when my hijab's on. I need to let you know, if I cover my hair or if I don't cover my hair, I'm still the same, like, intellectual being. I'm still the same. So
honestly, if it's like an experience like that, you should also, if you're hijabi, think of it as kind of a blessing, because why would you want to work in an environment where people are discriminating you based on your religion and your beliefs and what you believe is right?
You do not need to be in that place. And I know it's very frustrating because, again, you work very hard to get to somewhere, and then you're just being denied normal things because you choose to wear this. You know, it's very... You
don't want me? No, I don't want you.
And also, like, it's important to discuss how feminism, you know, discusses how women should wear whatever they want, but when it comes to hijabs, we're like... oh, you can't wear, like, you know, it's like, but I choose to wear this, so we're supposed to be here on the same page. I don't know, I just feel like, you know, we choose to wear this thing, but also we still are the same people. And also something that really pisses me off is in some places around the world where you can't swim in, like, you know, you
have to have like a certain attire to be able to swim. And what is the
I cannot
logic?
even like, it's just creepy, weird, and not cool to be like, I want you to show more of your body. I feel like, no, you know.
Like, if you think of it in every sense possible, like, really? What is the reason for you to be showing more skin?
And why do you want me? Like, if you, like, I'm happy with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, why are we... And it's,
there's nothing you can get out of that except, like, you're thinking like that other person has a bad intention.
That's true. And again, I just want to bring that back to, like, feeling liberated by wearing the hijab. It's because, like, I don't choose to show my skin or show, and that's for me, and you don't get to choose that for me. So then you start choosing, like, oh, you can't come to the swimming place if you're not wearing this, and I'm like... And it's so frustrating when moms, you know, Muslim moms go with their family and they're like, I can't have this nice experience with my family because you're a creepy weirdo. So
pretty much.
Like, I cannot think of it in any way other than that. And also, governments sometimes force women to wear the hijab and use...
That on its own end provides, like, a whole other set of issues.
As we see, you know, some people force women to take off the hijab. It also is on a, as you said before, a totally different spectrum in the other places in the world. I feel like it's just let Muslim women be, and we have our own journeys, and we're all doing our best to, you know, to work further to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is to all my Muslim ladies out there. Please make sure that your intentions for the hijab is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only, and don't let people ruin that for you. You're
not wearing this for anyone but your Lord.
If you're wearing it for anyone, it really is not the same, and it's the same for every ibadah or for every, you know, worship that you do. If you're praying for someone else so your mom sees you and is like, wow, my son or daughter prays, that's not the same. When you wear this for the sake of Allah, for, you know, because you're embodying Islam through that, that's for you, and don't let anyone take that away from you.
And that feeling that you get as well from, like, I'm doing this for my Lord, for no one else.
Yeah,
that feeling in itself is just so fulfilling.
It is. And honestly, like, for all, again, girls, like, when you are only tied by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you just unshackle what society wants from you, you are unstoppable, period. Like, you're unstoppable. If Allah tells you, if you're just the only thing that's, you know, that's, like, I'm not gonna say...
I think what you're trying to say is, like, when you stop chasing the world is gonna start chasing after you. And nothing in this world that like once you're chasing after like what's actually important for you, nothing in this world is going to seem all that tempting anymore.
And when Allah's on your side, everything in the world is easy to conquer. Yeah. So society puts a lot of shackles on women that are not necessary. If you're walking in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you shouldn't care if society thinks, oh, well, you should be wearing this trend right now, or you should be, because that's so liberating that I don't care what anybody here says.
Honestly, you're never going to be able to please anyone. Like everyone.
Never.
So like you're trying to please this group of people is going to have something to say. Trying to please this group of people, this group is going to have something to say.
Yeah.
You're never going to be able to like, don't even try to like, and if you do try to like please everyone in the world around you, you by far probably won't even like be Muslim at the end of like what you're trying to do.
Yeah, again, the only thing as Muslims, and I think that's freeing to all Muslims, is we work for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wants us to do this thing, we keep moving. Even if society says other ways, it's just easy. It's easier to do. Of course, it's hard to do in real life because people will try to stop you. But again, subhanAllah, when Allah is on your side, nothing in the world seems impossible. You seem like you really feel unstoppable that way. So keep chasing your dream, and if it doesn't, it's not against, your religious pursuit, let's say, keep chasing it. And if it's of the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you'll
Allah
get there.
will always make a way.
Yeah, Allah will always make a way. So if the workplace that you want to go work in, they don't like hijabis,
okay, that's
you'll
actually
find your
better
way.
for you.
Yeah, you'll find your way.
Going off what you said, if your workplace doesn't like people who wear hijab, why would you want to work there in the first place?
Please identify yourself.
Yeah.
Like, people, I know it's like very uncomfortable when people say or do things or look a certain way, but now you know that this person is not to get near to. And again, Muslim communities, especially at the West, we're here together. Please, help your sister out if you see her, and talk about these conversations, because we can't talk about them with anyone else, pretty much. This is our own thing,
You can talk about them with other people, but other people won't understand you the way that a Muslim girl understands you.
Yeah, and so as a community, we're here for each other, to support each other for the sake of Allah, so we can all help this world become a better place. That's why we're here. So never forget that.
Okay, so at the end of the day, the main topics that we've covered in this episode that we want you to take away from here are, Muslim women are going through a lot, just as it is. Don't, try to make
it worse. And we're all one ummah. Please, guys, remember that. We are not against each other. This is not a race against each other. This is a race with yourself and how you become a better Muslim. And always be willing to listen to Muslims around you. Ask questions. We're here to answer.
And the hijab is not just a cloth. It's a journey.
So much more than that.
It's a journey. It's a lifestyle.
And I think it's really nice. If you know any Muslims around you, your friends, maybe ask them about their journey, and you will realize how our journeys all differ, but they all kind of are at the end of the day from the same reason. And I think that's very beautiful.
At the end of the day, they have the same starting point, and maybe not the same starting point, but they have the same end
point. Yeah, and I think that's very nice. Yeah. So stay tuned for our future episodes. This is episode 1, and we're really excited to do many, many more. So if you guys want us to talk about a certain topic, again, we echo the voice of the ummah. So if you guys want to hear anything specific, let us know by DMing the MSA or us. And also, if you want to hear us talk with a certain guest, we're also really excited to work on that.
Yep. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Instagram.
Yes, that's it.
So, that's all for
Assalamu
episode 1.
everyone.
UmmahSpeaks
out.
سعيدا كن فريدا عش بفخر في الحياة لا تبالي فالمعالي بالتحدي لا سوى